It says we're live.
Maybe we're live. I don't know. Maybe we're live. Let's just start this thing and see what happens.
Okay, cool.
5, 4, 3, 2.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dynamic Moto Network podcast, your weekly forecast for all things moto. I'm Austin Charters with Ben Meza, and today is our first ever live stream podcast on twitch.tv. We're excited to be here with you guys. We're excited for you guys to see us and put a face to the name, put a name to the face. I don't know. Whatever it is, how you doing, Ben?
Dude, that was like a really, really good intro, except right at the beginning, instead of 5cast, you said podcast, but I'm going to let it slide because everything after that was just dialed. I'm doing good. I'm super stoked that we're here and we got Twitch going.
Yeah.
It feels good to be back on camera, as silly as it sounds. Like, I'm playing into it huge. I keep looking at the camera, looking back over at you, and it's just fun. It adds another element to it, even though this is what we normally do every single time we get together anyhow.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have the backdrop and everything. And
It is, man. So we tried the live stream before back in January. We had like a shitty backdrop type thing.
Hey, man.
Okay, it wasn't,
hey, man.
We couldn't figure out how to get it to hang right.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. It's like, do you remember way back, like when you were young, like playing soccer and like being on the team and you have like your team's like banner and like you hold that thing out there, maybe it's held up by like some PVC pipe or something?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we had.
You can actually go back. There's a few on our YouTube. I'm gonna end up deleting it when we get our first video up. But for now, you can check it out. But now we're
not jank anymore.
Yeah. We're expanding to a whole new level, and we're here, man. We're back. We got the cool outline for our live stream for you guys to see.
Yeah, check that out right there. Dynamic Moto Network.
At the very top for live.
Austin Charters, Ben Meza. Woo. Yeah, if you guys aren't on live, I should apologize. I realize this is still a regular podcast. Right now, we're just making fools of ourselves in your eyes. However, if you are live, thank you for joining us. And if you're not, there's a link in our bio on Instagram. Go check it out. Click it. You might be able to see some of our previous shows if we can upload those onto there.
I believe we can.
Sweet. So we're going to do that. Like I said, it's all a learning experience. But why don't you tell everyone about our backdrop?
Yes. So let me start out with the stuff that's not moto related. Behind me right here is a football. Over there is a football. Behind the jersey is a football.
Why are there so many footballs?
Over there. So the one right here in the middle was actually given to me. I was flown back to a college football game in Iowa. They made me the team captain. Got to go out in the center of the field for the coin toss. Signed it to me. And both footballs on either side of the screen right now were signed by every player on that team.
Dude, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I honestly had no idea.
Yeah, it was cool. So there's that, and then underneath the jersey over here is a Todd Gurley signed football, the running back for the Rams. One of my heroes. I actually got to give him a signed copy of my book that is out, Rolling Home. Go pick up a copy.
Shameless plug.
Yes. I gave him a copy of my book for a signed football. So it was a cool little exchange. Cool dude. So, and then to the moto stuff.
Yeah, now to the cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, actually, one other thing. Right in the middle
is
my bachelor's degree. It's a little washed out.
Homie went to college.
Yeah. Educated. So there's that. And then we got the two jerseys. So we got Destry Abbott, Skylar Howe's jerseys. I have a bunch of jerseys. We're going to cycle them in and out, depending on the show, who we're talking to. And then right in the middle, the bright, shiny orange thing. Thing looks like a pumpkin.
Yeah. Bright helmet. I don't know if you're a longtime listener, you remember hearing the story about this helmet. For all of you watching live, I don't know if you can read that. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. To DMN, thanks for the great content and keeping me sane on my drives. Jake Argubright, he gave that to us. He actually broke off the visor. I believe it was in Texas.
Texas, yep.
Texas Hare and Hound.
And he took the win, I believe.
He was gracious enough to give us the helmet to display in studio.
Speaking of, while you tell everybody about your weekend, because I know you had a nice weekend, let me go ahead and make sure our guest is lined up to call in.
All right, sounds good. So on Saturday, I actually went dual sport riding out with my dad out in Apple Valley. I had my birthday last weekend, as we said on this most recent show. My dad wasn't around, so he decided for my birthday he wanted to go out riding with me, go trail riding. It's been a minute since we've gotten to go out riding together. My dad's one of those guys that's always thinking about everyone else and rarely gets to enjoy little things for himself. You know what I mean? It was really cool. We actually did a gnarly ride. I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit on the mellow side as we were both on dual sport bikes, and my dad Yeah. My dad tends to like riding long distances, not necessarily tech stuff. So he gets enjoyment out of seeing how far you can go on like a tank of gas. Like to him, that's what's fun. And believe it or not, he's pushed his stock KTM 350 to like 140 miles or something ridiculous on the stock tank.
Damn.
Yeah, he just cruises. Anyway, that wasn't the case. He took me on some of my favorite trails in Apple Valley, real tech, rocky, single track, just all the goods. Actually showed me one new trail in the canyon that I had never ridden before. It's definitely one I'm going to go hit up. Go back on again. A lot of waterfalls. Good stuff.
Don't go chasing
Waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the
I don't know where
lakes
I don't
that
know
you
after that.
used to. I know that. No,
Okay,
I went on too far.
I have
It was
no
too
idea.
far.
That's all I got.
Anyway, Sunday, just mountain bikes up in Big Bear, Snow Summit, and a bunch of people that had October birthdays got together up there. It was kind of like a big birthday bash.
Nice.
Paige went. My wife, you guys know I talk about her a lot. She tackled
did the
some
rock.
rock gardens. Did
Yeah.
you see that video that she put up on Instagram?
I did. That was dope.
Yeah, I like her second attempt. She just straight up screams at the rock garden. If you want to check it out, it's Mrs.557. And yeah, on Instagram, wherever. Go give my wife a follow.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you, dude? How was your weekend?
You want to know the truth?
I want to know
You
the
can't
cold
handle
truth.
the truth.
Tell me.
Okay, so last week's show, you guys probably remember I was supposed to go on a date.
Yeah.
Shit got canceled.
It kind of got blown out at the end. I felt a little guilty, but at the same time, it is what it is. You set yourself up.
Wait till you hear this story.
Bro, are you setting yourself up again?
Yes. Y'all get ready to laugh at this shit. So Friday, for those of you not in Southern California, there's a radio station called KCAL. KCAL Rocks. It's like one of the only rock stations around here. I entered a contest to win some tickets for Mudfest.
Mudfest. I was just going to ask, did you go to Mudfest?
Yeah, so Puddle and Mud, Trapped, Saving Abel, Tantric.
Tantric.
I love Tantric. And
I think that was it.
it might have been it.
That was the lineup.
So I get a text around 5 o'clock.
Norco.
In Norco. I get a text around 5 o'clock. Congratulations, you're the winner of 2 tickets to Mudfest. Fuck yeah. Cool. Sorry, I totally dropped the F-bomb. Anywho.
You're good, dude. Just keep going.
Okay. 10 minutes later, I'm like chilling, thinking about who should I hit up to invite. That's when that girl who was supposed to go on the date with me texted me, "Hey, what are you doing Sunday?"
Hey, yo, what was her excuse? Did she even bring anything up? Or she just straight up, like, didn't show up and then acts like nothing happened?
From last week?
Yeah.
Oh, she got called into work.
Oh, so you didn't even say that. You just said you got stood up.
I did?
Oh.
I'm going to have to go back and listen. Did I say that?
All right. That's how
Maybe,
I perceived it.
Maybe.
Anyway, what are you doing Sunday?
Anywho, so she hits me up. She's like, "Yo, let's hang out Sunday." Cool. Actually, no, I'm getting my stories confused.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, my bad. So, Sunday morning rolls around, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go to the concert. I'm going to hang out, do whatever, blah, blah, blah. She's like, "Yo, like, sorry, I can't make it." And, like, I don't want to get into the reason why and all that, but there's a good reason why. I totally understand.
Okay.
But at that point, I'm like, yo, this concert starts in 3 hours, and I got nobody to go with.
Yeah.
So my plan just, like, got screwed all around.
No puddle of mud.
No puddle of mud. She freaking hates me. That's a song.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the girl.
it is a song.
But, so I just chilled at home, watched football, and I was like, you know what? Next time I'm going to the concert.
Well, I didn't laugh my ass off as promised, but hey, you got football out of the equation.
It was funny. So
Yeah.
So that's how my weekend went.
Right on.
And then I had doctors Monday, Tuesday, just chilling. It's Wednesday now. Surviving the week, man. Surviving life.
Yeah. So I did see, as far as your hip goes, things are healing. Timeline's narrowing down.
Yes.
Getting better.
Slowly but surely, man. We're about 4 weeks out at this point. So I was hoping for a little bit better news. But,
yeah. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate because I think you've told me you're 4 weeks out a couple times now.
I did.
I mean, it sucks. I mean, your body heals how it heals. But
Yeah. He said in about 3 weeks I could try sitting in my bike
Okay.
and see how it goes.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, is it just you have spasms because your body's reacting to the pain when you get into those positions? Or do you actually have, like, neuroreceptors that are, like, feeling the pain and, like, it's, like, just discomfort and you can't do it?
Both.
Okay.
But I don't feel pain the way you feel pain.
Yeah.
I get, like, headaches, start sweating. I get spasmy. That's how I feel pain.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
And I apologize to anybody that's watching who keeps wondering why I keep looking my eyes at you instead of my head.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit my headrest on the mic and
Oh,
make it.
for sure. No worries.
So that's why.
You want to go ahead and give this guy a call? I know we're slightly early, but you think he's down?
Yeah. Yep, he said he's good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be giving a phone call to... I'll let you do the introduction.
Your AMA 2019 National Hare and Hound Pro Champion.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Jake Argubright. $10.20.
Cool.
Hello.
What's going on, Jake? Welcome to the 5Cast. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing amazing. I'm so excited to be on the show.
Heck yeah. It's about time. We've talked about this thing enough.
I know, it's been a while. How are you guys doing?
Dude, we're doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I just found out I have a leak under my leak. I have a leak under my sink that I've been trying to clean for the last hour.
A link under your
no.
sink.
A leak.
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss riddle, but it does not sound nearly as fun as Dr. Seuss. That's
I know,
that's
right?
home ownership right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Say that 10 times fast, man. Oof.
Right. Hey, so how are your plumbing skills? Hopefully they're as good as your desert racing skills.
Not even close. And don't even ask about my electrical skills.
Oh, man. All right, man. Hey, so let's kick this thing off. Question right out of the bat. How does it feel to be a champion?
Really exciting. I mean, I've been working towards this thing my whole life. You know, it's finally kind of setting in. You know, I wasn't sure really what to do the week after, but it's finally setting in, and like, I'm just trying to enjoy it. I mean, it's super cool. I'm really excited.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, living in the moment is key. But you said it's finally set in. I want to know, like, what were the emotions like? Obviously, Mark created an amazing job of capturing that moment for you and Meg for the forever. The pictures that he got right at the finish line. But personally, dude, like, I want to know when you crossed that finish line and you knew, like, was there pressure taken off your shoulders? Was it just a total surreal out-of-body experience? Like, what was going through your head right then?
Well, actually, the first moment I really had the out-of-body experience was about 5 miles from the finish. I was just by myself, and I was actually at the top of the ridge, and I actually took a second to look back, and I could see dust way off in the distance, and right then and there, like, I kind of knew I had it.
Yeah.
And it was cool because no one else could experience that but me. So I was like, that was my first experience. So that was super cool. And then as soon as I crossed the finish line and saw my wife, like, I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. I've been doing this forever, and like, to finally get it, I didn't know how to react. It was crazy, and just brought so many emotions seeing her.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. You accomplished an amazing task. Like you said, you've literally been working for this the majority of your life.
Yeah, and it's funny too. As excited as I am, I had a little bit of, I was so uncomfortable the last 3 weeks because I actually, like, I had a points deficit, and like, I was just trying to make up the points, and I was like so nervous.
Yeah.
That after it was over, I was more uncomfortable not having that pressure. I was like, well, what do I do now?
It was like a weird feeling, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I kind of had to transition a little bit. Like, I'm doing this thing like my whole life, and like, I had just to kind of reevaluate like where I want to go, and like, you know, still kind of enjoy it, and you know, look towards the future.
Sweet, man. Hey, how was your season as a privateer tackling this whole the whole series? You know, like, can you walk us through that? Your feelings of going into it, doing it by yourself. Well,
yeah, I mean, like, taking it from a privateer perspective this year was a whole nother element to layer on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's a ton of work, but it's the most satisfying, especially when you win. At the beginning of the year, I wasn't, you know, sure how it was going to be. I was back on the Cowie. I told myself, like, I was going to give it my all. And that's exactly what I did each race. And there was definitely a lot of ups and downs. It's definitely been the most growth year I've had, the most lessons I've learned. And I think that's why it's so satisfying. Is, you know, you have to put in all this work, but the more physical and mental effort you put in, the more you get out of it.
For sure.
And so it's motivated me even more, like, to do more and like want to continue growth. And yeah.
What was that kind of like the mindset when you were coming into the season as well? Like, all right, we're back on the Cowie. We're doing it my way. I'm managing this. I'm going to put in the work for this in more than one avenue. But like, you obviously you had your head in the right mindset the whole way through this championship. You came through with a deficit. Like, you proved mental strength and physical strength throughout the season. But
yeah,
that mindset, I mean, coming from a factory ride, then going to the Chittister team and having multiple like opportunities, and now you're on a privateer ride. Like, did you know you had a championship in you this year? Like, how were you tackling that mentally early on?
Well, you know, I was a little doubtful. I mean, I've been doing this for all my life. I was like, well, I don't know, can I really do this? But you know, leaving Husky was probably the best thing I ever did. Not because Husky wasn't great, because they were, and actually, I wish I had the support that, you know, they give.
Yeah.
But you know, I just don't think I was hungry enough or appreciative enough, you know, at that age, and I had to kind of lose everything to learn what I really wanted. And same with the Chittister team. I mean, they were super helpful. I love Dallas. Dallas is such a good, cool guy. But, you know, I chose to do my own thing, and I, you know, live or die by the sword. So, yeah.
Right on, dude. I mean, that's kind of badass, honestly.
That is.
Yeah, and like, I would say at the beginning of the year, like I was saying, I was like, I'm going to give it my all, but progressively throughout the year, my mental strength just keep growing, and it just kept compounding on itself. And I think that's why I was able to become strong enough mentally to win the championship.
Yeah, for sure. It's a known fact in dirt bike racing that confidence and champions go hand in hand. You know, it's kind of like the chicken and the egg. Well, what came first, the wins or the confidence, or the confidence or the wins? But they literally tie together. When you start winning, when you start seeing success, and you start believing in yourself, you start believing in your equipment, and you believe in the people around you. And the more you're willing to have that faith and be comfortable with your group, the easier it becomes, the more fun it becomes, and it just kind of starts this snowball effect. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened, but it's kind of just an occurrence. I mean, if you're doing well, you believe you can.
Yeah, well, and here's the other side of the story. So, like, after I won the first 2 rounds, I was like, you know, I really think I can do this. If I can rack off a couple more wins here, like, I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
But as soon as we hit the 3rd round in Idaho, Joe Watson started, you know, kind of his push, and I didn't win another round for like 4 more rounds, I think.
Yeah.
And after actually I got second, I was like, this thing is not over. I need to, you know, get my ass in gear. And like from Idaho on, I hammered everything throughout the summer, throughout spring. So it, you know, it's definitely not over. But as soon as you build confidence, like, you can easily lose it. Like, but you got to stay hungry for it.
Yeah, for sure. So Joe and you developed this 2-man fight for this championship, and from the spectator perspective, it was really fun to watch. As a racer, I can imagine that it made things exciting for you. I mean, if you had a runaway season, yeah, you would have been loving it. You would have had the confidence, but I don't know if it would have been as appreciative of a hard-fought battle. Now, one thing that's always hard for competitors is choosing and nitpicking what the best qualities in an opponent is, because we're trained to dislike them, to mentally try to derange their persona in our mind so we can go out and beat them. It's like with fighters, you know, they can't like their opponent because they have to go beat the shit out of them. Now, desert racers, in general, we need to look out for each other. It's a thing where the first responders are ourselves, our competitors, you know. Personally, you and I had an experience. I got to stop for you at one race when you actually broke your wrist. But
yeah,
my point in all this is, what do you see in Joe that are some qualities that lend him to fight in this championship with you. You both have two completely different riding styles and preferences, but it came down to just the two of you.
Yeah, I mean, typically, actually, I was looking with the Hare and Hound points. Over the years, it's typically kind of won before the last round. And I can't remember the last time, it's been super close, like where it really depended on the last race.
Yeah.
And Joe, Joe's a fierce competitor. He is super good in the trees, like better than me. And I was, looking at my finishes, and he pretty much whooped me at every race that I don't, consider to be an open desert race, like where there's trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
my perspective on that, and it sorry to cut you off, but it could be just because I've been mountain biking a lot. So there's like two different styles. You have like the chunk and the gnar and the flow trail. And some guys can just rail on some flow trail with some corners and just time everything perfectly. And other guys just send it through the rocks and are just gnarly and fearless in that avenue. It's not to say that they can cross over and they can still shred on some flow and get nasty on some tech. But my point is, I kind of had been talking to Austin throughout the whole season and predicting when we went back to Lucerne, when things got gnarlier, when rocks really came into the factor, you were going to thrive. And I kind of predicted in Idaho and Utah and the places where it's less likely to find rock gardens and it's more cornering and turning, I did kind of choose Joe in that type of riding. Obviously, you're kind of agreeing with that and saying you saw the same characteristics. But it's interesting to have desert racing and see that there's different skill sets involved, like pretty blatantly.
Yeah, it's funny. I was listening to the episodes where, you predicted that I win. I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good about that statement. So, definitely a good guess. But yeah, like our styles are definitely different. And he's, like I said, he's super fierce. Years ago, some people know, like he had the gnarliest wrist injury that I've ever seen. Like he pretty much just blew his hand completely off his arm.
Right.
And to even come back from that is super gnarly. And he actually, I don't know exactly what he did, but I know he had a surgery at the beginning of summer. I think he was having some issues, like, so to even be in the hunt and like fighting, that's pretty respectable.
Yeah.
And like kudos to him, for putting it out there. That's super cool. And I was like, if he's fighting for this, like I know I have to fight 10 times harder, because he's, probably gonna have a lot of mental strength, from dealing with the injury.
For sure. So before we go ahead and start talking about the future and where your focus is right now, I actually want to take a step back and talk about the past. You've been pretty open about the fact that this was a lifelong goal for you and something you've worked towards from the beginning. Now, I remember Jake Argubright, X911 with Kyle Bristol on the KSV two strokes. Okay, that was probably like 2006, 2007. Let's use that as a benchmark and just take us through your mind, your desert racing. You actually got to get into X Games. You did Endurocross. You dabbled with that and everything in between. I just kind of want to break down your journey, Jake.
All right. Well, let me think here. When I was doing the Cowie thing, I had a nice little stint on the 250, which was super cool. Where I start remembering more was when I really got on the 450. I liked it. And the Cowie back then, I think it was around the 09 era, was really good. And I think that really, I just was in like a riding growth kind of stage where I raced so many district races. I was just on the bike the whole time. I think it just kind of propelled me, my speed and my fitness and everything, to trend towards the top.
Yeah. So that was like 09. You hopped on the 450. And like you said, you were literally at the district desert races every weekend. It was pretty fun to watch. You and Justin Imhoff, Justin on his Paul Krause Racing KTM 250. You guys were always out front, always battling. And 9 out of 10, you came out on top. And just in that era, was district your focus? Was racing just fun, or did you already have your eyes set on bigger goals?
No, I think I was just, focused on district. I was still pretty young then. I really think I'm actually looking at Moto Tally right now. The 2012 year is when I first did all of the rounds. So right around then is when I started really trying to get this thing.
Okay. So 2012, moving forward, it was just Hare and Hounds, everything, training for Hare and Hounds. That's like a 7-year journey till now of that being your main focus, your main goal, training, everything for that. Now, Reno 2013, the Reno Extreme put on by GXE. Was that your first Hare and Hound win? First taste of the gold?
No, actually, it was. So that was in 2013.
Yeah.
My first Hare and Hound win was in 2012 when I think it was the first Utah round out of the two they have.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I think Kurt broke his collarbone.
Yep.
So actually, funny story. I rode Endurocross the night before because it was when they had Endurocross in Vegas in May. So we did the Endurocross, and then actually even funnier story. So my mom stayed in Vegas while me and my dad and our crew, we went up to Utah. I was super tired, but I won my first national. And on the same weekend at the Orleans, just basically at the machine, the slot machine right by where you check in, my mom won 10 grand.
Nice.
Same weekend.
Heck yeah, luck was on the Argubright side.
It was crazy. It was such a crazy weekend.
Yeah. That's a fun story because like it commemorates it even that much more.
Yeah, for sure. So, so 2012 was my first Hare and Hound win. And then I actually didn't win until that Reno Extremes the next year.
Yeah. And that was a gnarly race. I think my bike seized up on like the first lap on like one of the really long climbs, but it was like, I remember it being stupid hot. It was nothing but rock gardens, and it was like virgin terrain that Eric Kudla just mapped out. He and Mikna mapped that out, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that race.
You won, so you have to love it, right?
Well, okay. So I went and did it the year before in 2012 when it wasn't a national. So I knew all about this race. It was the one and only time it was going to be a national. And I feel like I had such an edge on everyone because it was basically a step below hard enduro.
Yeah.
It was so tough. I mean, you could do everything, but just the average speed was so slow. I think, if I'm correct, my wife did it, and she did the 125-mile loop, and it took her like 5 hours to do it.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, it was unrelenting. There were literally no breaks.
Yeah, it was gnarly too because it was just rocks everywhere, and there were wild stallions running around. I remember we were like trail riding, and the horses would go. I mean, they would run faster than us riding.
Yeah, they were like Mustangs, right?
Yeah, it was so cool. It was the only time I've ever really seen that. It was definitely something to remember. But God, that race was gnarly. I think my claim to fame with Kurt was that was the only time I ever felt like I truly beat him.
Straight up.
And I pretty much about died at the finish.
Man.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a truck race too? Same day?
Yeah, it was a truck race.
So it was the Reno fireworks or extreme. They had it was on who's the guy that owns Score? Roger Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his land, and they ended up putting his truck race and everything on. And it's actually, I think now it's the Tesla Gigawatt factory.
Oh, okay. That's like the huge Tesla factory right there where that was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it is.
Yeah, I know it's right outside of Reno, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but God, I love that race. I wish they'd bring it back.
So you saw success, obviously, in almost a hard enduro format. Did the idea ever come up like, hey, why don't I try chasing the hard enduros? Obviously, there's the local stuff, but did you ever think that possibly you had a future in there?
I've kind of dabbled with it. I did Endurocross, and at the time there weren't too many hard enduros. There's definitely more now. And actually, I've kind of thought about it. If I can find a bike for next year, I would do King of the Motos. I mean, it's out in my hometown, like I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I like doing that stuff. I excel at, tougher events. I think it's just a matter of, getting a little practice and finding some time. Like I definitely would do it. I'm open to it.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
I think you do well at it too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, you got the skill in rocks, like that. So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was just say the only thing is I really would love to do it on a Cowie. So like I'm keeping my eye open for like an old KDX 220 or like a KX 250 or something, because the 450 would just be too much. So if I can find one,
that'd be pretty badass if you showed up in like an old KDX 200.
that's what I'm hoping for. If I find one, like I'm just gonna run it at King of the Motos and give her the berries.
And I'm pretty sure you could like just walk through the gardens just dragging that thing behind you like you were riding like a 65 or something. You tower over it.
No, for sure. And like I figured I would struggle a little bit in the tough stuff, but like if there's any valleys or something, I could, make up time there. So like I'm already thinking about it.
Yeah, I definitely approve that.
I approve that message.
Yeah, you should do it.
All right.
So, yeah, dude, let's just fast forward now. You are headed towards 6 days, and I know that's been a goal that was one of yours for a long time. I think you and I talked about it back in like 2013. We broke down the whole, you probably don't remember this. It was at a Halloween party at your house. We broke down the whole process of the selection team and how Auntie chooses riders, and we decided that there needed to be a method of choosing riders based on terrain from where 6 days is going to be, which is pretty obvious for everyone on the outside looking in. If it's going to be a West Coast style 6 days, choose riders from the West Coast. If it's going to be a woodsy East Coast style, choose riders from the East Coast. And at the time, there was like frustration from all people looking in at why do we keep sending these GNCC guys to these sand races, to these fast desert races. It makes sense if we're going to Germany or Slovakia, but it doesn't make sense if we're going to Chile, And now you have an opportunity, Jake, to go and represent USA on a club team. But since that conversation, now we have a qualifier series, both West Coast and East Coast, that really lends to kind of what we talked about. The style of qualifiers is represented on different parts of the West Coast. So there's different styles of riding, but it allows the people that really excel in that type of terrain to rise to the top.
Yeah. First off, I'm definitely excited to go, and I'm actually really glad I did the qualifiers this year. It's something completely different for me, and I learned a lot. It was cool, like going up to Idaho. We went kind of by the Hare and Hound. Like that was one of my favorite races. It was a qualifier, no rocks, like just it was kind of wet dirt. It was actually like Gorman.
Okay.
But trying to sprint through it, I actually got second on the first day. I think I won the second day, but seriously, it's super fun. It's definitely different. But I like the challenge, and I'm glad I did it. And, now I'm glad I'm going to 6 days.
Yeah. I mean, Portugal is on the rise. It's less than a month away at this point.
It is.
Yeah. How has it been transferring your focus now? Like you said, you had all this pressure on you to get the championship. You got the championship. That's all relieved now. But it's this whole new format and style of racing that you've yet to do. That's coming up quick.
Yeah, well, it was going good until Sunday. So I kind of pushed all the ISDE stuff off until after the Hare and Hound. I really just wanted to focus on that, give it 100%, and now give it 100% on ISDE. So I was actually at the Sprint Enduro out in Lucerne, and I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or it was just a mistake, but I actually crushed a rock with my foot, and I broke 2 toes, and I got a little fracture in my foot.
Oh no!
So yeah, so I'm fine. It just put a little bit of a derailment, just on training and stuff. But it still was going good. I actually, I changed tires on, like, I have this little old rim that I changed on, and I've never used a Raviconda.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, Ryan Smith was out there, and he's kind of been helping me this year. He brought his, and he actually showed me how to do it. So in between the test, when I would come back, I did a couple tires, and I got my practice in for that. So that was pretty cool, and I feel confident with that. So, right now, I'm just kind of taking a little bit of a break, trying to let my foot heal.
Yeah. As far as the foot goes, what's your timeline like for that? Is it just kind of lay low, let it heal?
Yeah, and it's not that bad. Like, I'm walking on it, and I mean, I shouldn't be. But, you know, just trying to ice it and do, you know, little things to let it heal, because, like, when you go to 6 days, you do a ton of walking.
Yep.
So if I can, you know, heal it as much as I can and let it recover before the walking, I think I'll end up being better off. And I mean, the doctor said like 4 or 5 weeks, which I'll be going over there in 3. So like I'm definitely confident enough where I know I can handle it, and I'm still looking forward to going, and, you know, just going to grind it out.
Yeah, I think you'll be dialed. Once you get over there, the mindset kicks in. It'll be fine. But
yeah, for sure.
It's going to be such a rad experience, dude. Now, like, no lie, the walking is ridiculous. There's a ton of walking. But
really?
Yeah. Those guys, like the trophy guys, they walk all the tests 2, 3, 4 times before the actual race. So the week prior, they're just walking their asses off. And then once the race starts, like the second they finish the day, they load up in the van and they go walk all the next day's tests just to go check everything else out. So everyone's dead just from riding like 200 miles or whatever it is. And those guys just head right back out there, go walk it. Like, they mean business. Now, the club guys don't necessarily do that, but
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
If they're doing it, I'm doing it. Like, I'm open to it. Like,
hell yeah.
Heck yeah, I'm in.
I think what was really rad when I got to go over with Skylar in Slovakia, but they kind of let Skylar in on it, you know, like they kind of had him under their wing, and he got to walk all the tests with the trophy team. And like you said, if they're doing it, he's doing it. And that's kind of the whole perspective he took on the deal. So, I mean, hopefully that works out for you too. You're able to get in with those guys and just grind everything out. I mean, you're an AMA national champion, so they know you're gnarly. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be okay with them.
No, and like with the mindset I've built up this year, and, you know, I want to go back to it because I actually was introduced this year to David Goggins.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of him?
I have.
And God, it just changed my life. Like, he is so gnarly, but I just take that mindset with me everywhere. And I'm going to definitely take it to 6 days, and let's like definitely grind it out and like just have what I believe is the best mindset for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure the first part, getting the mind in the right spot. That sets you up to succeed. So
yeah.
You're going about it right, 100%. After 6 days, dude, what are your plans for 2020 moving forward? Is it privateer life because that's what's working? Is it trying to get more people on board because everyone's stoked and wants to be part of Team 911? Like, what's good, Jake?
Well, I'm kind of figuring it out. I definitely want some more Hare and Hound titles.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that. I feel like I'm getting better. You know, people say with age comes age. I feel like I'm getting faster. I really, like, I'm 28, and I wish I was as hungry as I was, you know, when I was like 24.
Yep.
So I'll definitely do that again. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I want to do rally. I have some stuff I'm kind of working on, and I keep saying that. I'm just trying to put it together. You know, logistics is really a big part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd like to, you know, give that a go. And I'd like to make the effort to maybe go down to Mexico.
Okay. Let me just say real quick before we move forward, I'm super stoked how much rally is growing in North America and how big it's catching on. Like, it's not a new concept, but it seems like everybody is really looking at it now, and riders want to do it. And there's like a real incentive to go try rallies because they know that there's rides out there for it. And it just makes me really stoked because that's such a rad form of dirt bike racing. And for desert racers, I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, it's a gnarly discipline that I know really nothing about, and it keeps me out in the desert, which I love.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, you know, it's growing here. It's super cool. So I definitely want to give that a go. I mean, I'll definitely be doing the privateer thing.
Sick.
I'm going to race the same bikes. I'm actually not even switching. The 19 and the 20 Cowie are the same.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm actually trying maybe to bring someone on with me. It's definitely not like like a paid deal, crazy sponsorship, but I have my eye out on someone I'm trying to get as a partner.
Yeah.
I believe I have, a lot of good insight, but to share it and, kind of grow the privateer, idea. And, my goal is to be the most successful privateer at this point.
Yeah.
So,
that's rad.
If I can spread that, off.
Sorry, I got distracted. Austin was trying to tell me something, but no, that's cool that you want to go that route, and it actually is the perfect lineup for another question. What young talent do you see out there and see potential in right now in the Hare and Hound series? And 5-10 years from now, who do you see from these young Groms being on top? It's kind of cool now that we have the AMA Youth Series, and you actually see the success through that, and you see the consistency of riders that do well in that series becoming riders that are doing well in the 250 Pro and the other classes as they grow up. I mean, it basically lends like a window into the future. Yeah,
I mean, some of the older Groms, so personally, me and Ryan Smith have been training this whole year. We've gotten definitely closer, and he's ripping. I think he's, he had an injury at the beginning of the year, and he's finally starting to see the benefits. We've been training together. I try and kick his ass on the motorcycle, and he kicks my ass on the bicycle.
Yeah, I see that on Strava. He does get you.
Oh God! So I thought I was pretty good. Well, we went on our first road bike, and I'm like, I thought we were cruising. I'm like, I'm going to try and drop him, but no, God, he put the hammer to me, and God,
heck yeah.
It was a mess.
Are you still riding that gravel bike? Sorry to do a side note, but
no, yeah, I want to get rid of it. I want to get back to an enduro type bike.
Yes, hit me up when you do. When you wake up, hit me up.
I know. So I bought the gravel because I thought I was going to ride gravel, and I'm like, it's not, it's cool, but it's trying to ride. It's like trying to ride enduro cross on an XR 650. It's just not that fun.
Yep, it wasn't purpose built for that. You can do it, but you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, and it's a super comfy road bike because that's what I use it for now. But I want to get like a long travel enduro bike and start hitting up some enduro races and stuff for sure.
Hit me up, dude. I'll steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. So back to your original question, Ryan Smith, and the beta guy that won the 250, Zane Roberts.
Yeah, Zane's gnarly.
Zane's pretty good.
He didn't win the Pro 250, by the way. He got second, but he was killing it. He just DNF got him.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, he's proven with consistency other than the couple of rounds that he's really good. But I mean, as far as younger Groms, I would say Jet Lessing.
Yep.
He's a ripper. I peek over at the kids races, and I mean, he's definitely moving. He's got some skill for sure. I think he's got a good set of people around him. He's kind of heading the right direction, and yeah, for sure, Jet. Yeah,
Jet for sure has been up on top recently, and you see he's got that desire to win. So I look for big things from him as well.
And actually, someone older, I would say Dalton for sure. Dalton, to be honest, Dalton worries me a little bit. Dalton's really good.
I've always thought that Dalton's time will come. He's fast. He's got the skill set. His time will come. But
he's gnarly. But I'm already thinking about next year, and I want to defend my title, and I'm ready for it for sure.
Right on. I love hearing that. And season's already over, and you're ready for the next one. So that's the right mindset to have. Yep.
Nice. Ain't no rest for the. Oop. I totally just screwed that up.
No, that's good, dude.
I dropped the phone, man. My bad. Anyways, what else you got, Ben? What do you got for him?
I think Jake gave us a bunch of information. Finally stoked that he came on. We got to chat with you. It's been a hell of a season, dude. We're pumped for you. We're super stoked that you got this thing done. It's been one hell of a journey for sure. But you're on top, baby.
Thanks. And when are we dropping these T-shirts we've been working on?
Oh, sick!
Oh man, yes.
Jake just broke the.
Yeah, you're breaking the dude. This is a good podcast, man. We're breaking news.
Yeah, I broke the news. Jake took an interesting take on getting support for ISDE and fundraising. And we're over here at DMN. We're stoked on ISDE. We want to support people. And as a growing business, we wanted to help Jake out with that. We told you guys early on, if you need any design work, to hit him up. And you know what? We decided we needed some design work. So we hit Jake up. And dude, they look sick.
Dude, I can't wait to drop the picture on Instagram.
I'm so stoked on that design,
Dude,
Jake.
Jake, you knocked it out of the park, man.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, seriously, I do. And like, it's funny. I love doing design, web and graphic design. And I try to be really good on dirt bikes, but when I try and design on dirt bikes, I have the freedom to do anything I want. And I try to apply that with design, but it doesn't work that way. So I feel like kind of like a novice. So to hear you guys say that you guys like it, it's super satisfying.
Yeah, it's rad. And a fun fact, don't you do all the design work for the National Hare and Hound Association?
Yeah, I do. I try to do most of it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, definitely, like right before the race, like, because they need things, to get out, like to post and stuff. So I try and do as much as I can. I'm going to work with them to get them situated for next year. But yeah, I love doing design, and I love doing design to support off-road.
Yeah, it's kind of like a trade that you have that I had no idea of until this year. And you were pretty open about it on Off-Road Support's Instagram that this is something that you love to do, that you have a passion for, and now you get to share it with all of us. And it's cool because, it's legit. It's not like someone just downloaded the app or whatever on their computer and trying to figure it out. Like, this is professional quality stuff. So I'm pumped that you have this skill. I'm pumped that we were able to utilize you to benefit ourselves and benefit you as well. And
No,
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just saying, no, seriously. No, thank you. Yeah, not a lot of people know I do it, and like, I'm pretty shy, and I think it's finally coming out, which I'm stoked about. But yeah, I'm excited to get that design out for sure.
Yeah, so we'll keep our listeners updated with new things as they come out. But I think since Jake broke the news, this will probably be the cover of this podcast will be our new logo. So we can share it with all of you guys. You can check it out. That's where it came from. If you're wondering where the artwork got over to us at, I don't know. That was a weird sentence. But anyway, we're pumped. We're going to have T-shirts. We're going to have merch coming out. A lot of big things coming.
Yes.
And it's going to be sick. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me have a chance to do it.
Yeah, man. You're always welcome on the show. We love talking about you, talking to you, talking with you, just talking in general, like I'm doing now. But we appreciate it, man.
I think he was saying thanks for the artwork, but it's cool that you came on the show too, Jake.
Oh no, I thought he was saying thanks for letting him come on.
What were you saying? What were you saying, Jake?
Well, I was saying thanks for letting me do the design, but I am thankful to be on the show. I'm a closet listener. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and you're just one of them, and I love listening. So it's exciting that I get to be on the show, and if no one's noticed, I hate doing public speaking. But I'm getting through it, getting better.
Yeah, it's a little different on podcasts because you kind of forget that you have viewership and that people are going to be listening to this. It's more like a one-on-one conversation. It makes it a little easier, I think.
And I think you guys got a good flow. You guys bounce off each other, and I think you guys are kind of finding your groove. So that's cool.
Thanks, man. We appreciate that too.
Yeah, man. Next step is to get you to co-host it with us. That's the next step for you.
Yeah, getting in studio, sitting down with us.
All right. I'll do it. I'd be super nervous. I told you, let's do the interview and then I'll do it.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
good.
We'll do it.
Right on.
Not to add any pressure or anything, but we are actually live streaming this right now. So whenever you come on, people are going to be watching you. Like right now I'm waving at the camera, but people listening can't hear that.
But these people watching are seeing it. Yeah, for sure. But hey, are you planning on being at the Kirk Caselli Ride Day? Not to put you on blast or pressure you or anything, but do you know if that's one of your plans?
When is it? It's in December.
It is December.
Yeah.
December 9th, I think.
Yeah. If you're gonna be there, Jake, we'll message with you before. But mind if we slot you in for our section of Kurt stories and you sharing a little bit about riding with the champ?
Yeah. Hit me up. Let's do it.
All right. Sounds good. That'll be your next appearance on DMN. Looking forward to it.
Well, that sounds good.
Right on, man. Well, hey, we appreciate the time and look forward to having you on in December.
Yeah, thanks guys, and have a good rest of your show.
Yeah, again, congrats on the championship, Jake. Stoked for you.
Man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Later.
All right, take care, guys.
That was good.
That was pretty good.
Did you learn anything new? I did.
Tell the audience what you learned new, and I'm going to
Okay.
think back through everything and see if I did actually learn anything new.
First things first, because I wasn't around the Hare and Hounds much before 2012. I didn't know that's when he got his first win. I thought the GXE was his first win, so that's news to me. The foot, that's breaking news.
Oh, yeah. I learned about the foot. We just broke it here.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Unless you were at the race, then you might know. But
Yeah. Well, he didn't get x-rays back at the race, I'm assuming.
correct.
So, breaking news, breaking feet, we're breaking everything here.
So that's what I learned. I was at the 2012 race, so I should have remembered that. That was a bozo move on my part that I forgot that. Yeah.
And anybody watching, or to anybody that heard that little mishap, I did drop your phone in, my bad.
Yeah.
I went to put my hand down, and I
It's
didn't
good.
realize it was plugged in, so that's on me. And I
Just-
was going to make a joke, and that's why I was like, hey, should I make a joke real quick? And then you didn't hear me, and I was like, oh, damn it.
I think we had a good flow through it, and like
It was good.
occasionally you try to tell me something and I just couldn't hear, and I didn't want to be noisy and like
See,
disrupt
I don't
the
want to
interview.
I don't want to pull the headphone off and talk to you,
Yeah.
especially because we have people watching.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel you.
So-
We actually do have viewers and like commenters and stuff.
See,
like
I
that's
took my
pretty
glasses
cool.
off right before we started.
So you can't
stream,
see it?
So I literally cannot see what that says.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna read it to you.
No,
No.
people love when you do that on Twitch.
They love when you read their
When
comments.
you read their comment, yeah.
Okay.
Because everybody else can see it.
Loving the stream, guys, and the setup looks awesome.
Woohoo! Who said that? Do you know?
I can't read the name because it's in a weird color and it's too small.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it.
So we did a little differently this week, guys. We started off with some off-road, but as you know, we just had one of the largest races of the off-season. Monster
off-season,
Energy Cup happened on Saturday. So we're going to get dynamic with it.
Dynamic.
I did both
Did you
at the
do
same
both at
time
the
on
same
accident. Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually. But it didn't fit anyway.
Anywho.
But we're getting dynamic with it. Talk about some Monster Energy Cup. We'll come back to some off-road later. Do some wrap-ups for the Hare and Hound series. Talk about Donner Hare Scramble. A little bit of Enduro Cross. But until then, dude, Monster Energy Cup.
Brock, straight.
So-
I don't want to say it was fire because it was all right. But
No, it was great racing.
great racing.
It was great racing.
But there wasn't a lot of competition.
Yeah. A lot of
that's-
people
that's-
didn't show up. And all right, I've seen a few different things on this topic. That was it one, competitive sponsors not wanting their riders to be in attendance, so they pulled out on the race series, or a race for the weekend. It wasn't a series, obviously. Or was it simply a lot of interesting scenarios that didn't allow riders to line up? What's your thoughts
Well,
on that?
Can we say both?
Say whatever you want, dude. It's your
I say
show.
both. I don't know. Our show.
Our show, yeah. Yeah.
Don't put that on me, Ben. I don't know. I think a lot of riders, it's their downtime. I don't even want to say it's like the teams themselves saying, "Oh, we're not going to show up." Don't get me wrong. I'm sure some teams are like that, but I think in general, it's like, dude, they race like 17 weekends in a row during Supercross, 2 weeks off, and then 12 weeks in a row for.
To be fair, though, that hasn't. It's been the same deal for the last 10 years that this race has been on, and this is the first year that we straight up did not see Red Bull athletes there. We didn't see Rockstar athletes in the pro main event, although Dean Wilson was there competing. We'll talk on that a little bit later, but it was just a weird situation, a weird deal, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it was personally that the sponsors put pressure on the riders to not go. I don't. I could be extremely optimistic about that.
I mean, there was also the Red Bull Straight Rhythm like a weekend before.
And that's straight up. I don't think Monster athletes were. I think they were told not to go to that.
Oh, really?
I do, and I think
Okay.
Rockstar athletes were told not to go to that, which is crazy. But I
You think
really,
Rockstar was? Do you think that? Well, no, because Anderson was there. Well, he pulled out, but he was signed up and did practice.
Yeah.
But,
I don't
but
know.
I see your point,
And
but I see
why
your
would I?
point.
Why would I have that perception for one race and not the other one? I don't know. It might just be my idea of the brand Monster and my idea of the brand Red Bull, and me thinking that one has standards and the other doesn't. I don't like literally like that's how my mind works. Like
If
when I think
anything, I
about it,
would say
why.
Red Bull has standards. And
Yeah,
Monster
no,
doesn't.
that's the mindset.
Okay.
That's the
Yeah.
mindset. Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Really?
I, as far as the standards part.
That's interesting that we have that perception of Red Bull that they're a decent company.
I just
And why do we have the perception that Monster's not? Is it favoritism? Is it a bias based on the riders that are supported by certain brands and our perspective of them?
I think it's just the way that some of the Monster sponsored athletes act in comparison with how Red Bull. Because Red Bull, you have to be like straight up like no dicking around, you know?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I think
like my
Monster
opinion,
guys-
when Tyler Bierman got signed to Red Bull, it kind of changed his persona,
Oh, dude,
right?
I can't even. One of our friends who's in a wheelchair
Yeah.
was not happy when Bierman got signed to Red Bull.
Really?
Yeah, just because of who he is and
You didn't think he belonged there, but
didn't live up to the.
yeah. But since then, has
expectation.
that person's perception changed?
No, because the dude doesn't like the dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
So it's just like base their ideas off and hold on to that like a little bit of grudge, like. But
yeah, said person thinks that Bierman is a cocky dirt bike kid.
what does that person think about Axel Hodges?
I think the same. To be honest, I don't know. I haven't asked about Axel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't. I think Tyler Bierman's got a great personality. I think he's real open.
I love the dude. I think
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah. But at the same time, like it gives you that perception simply based off of a brand.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I think it was just a random deal that it all worked out that way. I don't think really any strings were pulled for it to end up
Right.
as it
I would
did.
say that,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of racing? Like I know you said it was good, but like
It was really good. It was close. It was tight. For the promoter, they couldn't have asked for much more. I mean, they didn't give up $1 million. They had a $100,000 winner. It wasn't the favorite to win. It was potentially the new favorite.
It was my favorite to win.
So going in, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
I said that I didn't think Adam could get it done. And in my mind, I thought there were going to be a lot better riders there. And it wouldn't have mattered. Adam was on it. He was killing it. He rode awesome. He looked great.
Essentially, he shouldn't have won with if Tomac didn't wad it like he did. Because Tomac got up and went from 8th to 3rd.
It's racing, though, bro. It's racing.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Anything can happen. That's what we
but
talk about.
You said Tomac was the better rider. That's the point you were trying to get across.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are your takeaways from the race, from the results? Do you think any of this translates into our 2020 Supercross season? Can you say?
No.
Okay.
So I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. If you feel that way, you feel that way.
The reason I don't is because of what we saw last year. Savachi was up there neck and neck with Tomac last year, and people say, "Oh, Savachi didn't have a bad season."
He didn't, dude. He had some great rides.
But he
Rookie
wasn't.
of the year.
Did he get that?
Yeah, dude.
See, maybe in my mind because he's not like I'm not his biggest fan. Like maybe in my mind I'm like
Team Zacho.
Yeah.
That's all it is. 100%.
No,
It's fine.
100%.
Like it's fine, but that's what this is.
That's fine, but you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. I don't necessarily say that it's all Team Zacho. I don't even think I liked the dude before.
Because he
for
was.
incident.
That's because he was Zacho's competitor. I don't know, dude. Like I look at.
I like Dino and I like Anderson, and they're Zacho's competitors.
There's teammates.
That is true. Let me. I like Malcolm, and he's his competitor. Like
You're not grasping the full like reasoning.
I get what you're saying.
You're just trying to divert it because you want to say that that's not what's being caused. That's,
You're 100% right.
Yeah,
100% right.
I know I am.
but I just okay in my mind whether it is the Zacho thing or not.
You thought that Savachi didn't live up to the hype that was Monster Energy Cup.
Right.
Therefore, you cannot say that AC would live up to that potential. But it's not just about AC. It's not just about those athletes. I mean, you had Vince Freeze, who got up front a lot. He was running up.
What was up with that?
It ties into his strengths, dude. We've seen Vince get heat races. We've
That is
seen
true.
Vince do well in the
sprint
Triple
style.
Crowns. Yeah, he can come out, get a great start, and stay up front for short periods of time.
But that feeds into the fact of why I don't think that certain riders would do good because the full race season isn't all Triple Crowns.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm just trying
just
to
pointing
spark
that
up
out.
conversation.
Yeah, no, I'm just pointing that out.
I would agree. I don't think you can take anything away from this into next year. It's a mellowed out backwards track, literally backwards.
Right.
It's-
Two different starting points.
Yeah, and it was interesting. It got changed up. I thought it was great
Sketchy.
spectator wise. Riders didn't necessarily like it. It ended up costing one rider Dean Wilson during qualifying hit a quad. He'd hit the lap before, went just slightly to the right of the initial lip line, on the lip, rather, and it was a little worn down because it was a landing for other racers.
Right.
And he didn't get the pop he needed, came up short, flew into the berm, landed straight on his leg,
Dislocated his hip.
fractured pelvis.
I didn't read the fracture.
Yep.
Was it fracture?
Dislocated hip, fractured pelvis. Same deal as me, dude.
See.
And I like seeing those. I hate seeing that for Dean. But when I see the post and riders say that it's the worst pain they ever felt, it's like, okay.
All three are in the same boat.
Yeah, it's like, all right, the tolerance, like, it's there. Like, that's some real shit. You know what I mean? But, dude, of all riders, Dean, like,
Dude, I
really
can't catch a break.
You
man.
literally text me the second it happened.
Yeah, and here's I literally was thinking about this when you and I were texting about it yesterday, and you sent me the Instagram video.
Yep.
It's risk versus reward when it comes to that. Was that quad worth the risk? And this is not, I'm not talking about just Dino in this one. I'm talking about in that particular race for racers. And that's not something, I'm not being facetious when I ask that. It's something every racer has to ask for themselves. Is the 0.2 seconds I gain worth the risk or reward?
And at a certain point, when you're at such an elevated level and your head's in the right place, you don't even think about the risk anymore. You're just thinking about the positivity of the flow. Okay, I'm feeling this. This jump feels good to me. I got this. I know I'll pick up a couple seconds here. I'll dive to that inside right after this. I can nab the quad to the inside. I'll have to sweep outside to get into the quad. You know, your brain's no longer thinking, oh shit, like should I do it? Is it gonna be okay? You know what I mean? Like, Dean had finally gotten over that hump. He's been very open about it on Instagram about his struggle and about the good place he was in now. And then this happens, you know what I mean? In my opinion, I wouldn't have changed anything. You know, you go out there to win, you give it all you got. There's no sitting on the sidelines or sitting back and thinking about the what ifs. You know, you're there, you do what you got to do to win. He was fastest qualifier in first practice. He was third in second. You know, he was just killing it.
Yeah.
And last lap of qualifying, this happens. You know what I mean? It's a shame. And as far as the actual break, I'm not sure how bad the fracture is. Dislocation is pretty straightforward. In my case, I had a fragment that got into the socket, so that's why I had to have surgery to pull it back out, fix that. Ligament was torn. It got pretty invasive. But I'm not really sure what's going on with Dean. We don't have the details on that. I expect him to be out there in Supercross. He's got a deal signed with Husky, so he's got a ride.
1 more year, yeah.
He's got some people behind him. But A1, that's too soon.
November, December.
I mean,
like
it's close,
10
dude.
weeks?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I think maybe he'll come back mid-season if
Maybe
possible.
when they go back east, I don't know. But
Did they go back east right off the bat?
Oh yeah, I forgot new
second
schedule,
race,
dude. They're
what the
throwing it back
hell?
and forth to get west and east. So no more of the 250 class holding their injured riders for the East Coast. It's straight up right out the bat.
What do you think about that? Because we haven't talked about that yet. We can do a whole like.
Well, yeah,
startup show.
we can do a long show. I'm still talking about Monster Energy Cup.
Right.
What did you think about the All-Star race? It's a little weird that you can have a rider that placed top 10 in an AMA Pro National show
Drop
up and
down.
race the All-Star class against amateurs. I didn't like that at all. That really left a bad taste in my mouth. We know Lauren shreds. That's no surprise. But to see Jet come out and do that as well, that was a little frustrating for me.
It was because of how many points he scored.
It doesn't matter. If you're racing AMA
I'm just
Pro,
saying
you're a pro.
that's the rules,
That's the
though.
rule, but it's BS in my opinion.
Right. I mean,
You go there to race against it's sandbagging, like straight up. And he wasn't the only one. You know, you can pick him out because he's the one that won. But there were some other riders in that class that have qualified for Pro 450 and Pro 250 races. You know,
yeah.
it's I don't know. I didn't like it. Our listeners, you can chime in if you'd like and share, but it's just yeah, not a fan.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Lawrences, but
Yeah, Hunter was one of your picks for outdoors.
he was. It bummed me out, but it just sits a little wrong.
They
with
didn't
me,
break
though.
any rules, but
Right. No, I'm 100% with you on that train though. So, but come out winning and pop a donut off on the on the podium.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's his age. But as far as racing goes, yeah, it is what it is. It was good racing.
This is one of the least sketchy as far as the super minis go. One of the races we've seen, we didn't really see any
I think the kids get excited.
super big incidents. But in the past, on the tracks, we've seen some pretty gnarly crashes. And this year was not one of them.
I'm trying to think of what we've seen.
Well, one rider who we always struggle to pronounce his name, Kieran Neron, actually broke his femur at Monster Energy Cup a few years back in the Super Mini class.
That's right.
Yeah. Damn. So it's been pretty frequent we've seen injuries. And this was one of the first years where I don't remember anything happening. And, dude, what about Little Red Dog running away with it? A whole shot from the outside in that first moto. Oh, man.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sick. He got 21st gate pick, started on the outside, and whole shot of that thing.
Right.
Led every lap.
Gnarly.
And then second moto did the same exact thing.
Dude's gnarly.
Dude, Evan Ferry, remember that name, especially in Supercross. It's kind of crazy because you see Evan's a perfect example. Riders that race Loretta's and just can't do well, outside of their element and just uncomfortable. And so much is based off of that event that I'm stoked that Supercross Futures is around and that we have the opportunity to watch them throughout the year, not just at one outdoor race. And now we have Monster Energy Cup where they're there as well.
Yeah, Ferry actually Evan
just signed to that team.
First week on the bike.
Yeah. Flew to California on Tuesday, got on the bike on Wednesday, did testing on Thursday and Friday, went out to Vegas.
And boom.
Yeah. It's rad.
Kid's got a future.
It's rad. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram, but he always throws out Insta bangers and you want to see some sick 85 whips, follow Evan. Yeah,
better than Danger Boy?
Lil Red Dog 75. Yeah. Better whips than Danger Boy. Danger Boy is jack of all trades though.
Good at everything, but not the best.
Hayden can backflip a scooter, backflip a BMX bike, backflip a dirt bike. Freaking the best at Supercross for his age. He can do 360s. He can do a 360 truck driver, like a bar spin,
Is that what that is?
Yanking. Yeah. Well, there's a 360 bar spin. There's a 360 truck driver. They're two different tricks. I'm not going to dive too much into the bicycle world, but yeah, Hayden's gnarly. Now let's just talk 450 racing.
Yeah.
Was there anyone that surprised you? Now, you did say that your pick was Adam, that you expected him to do well. But was there any surprises from the night?
Freezy.
Yeah.
He was my biggest surprise.
What about Tyga? I'm totally blanking. Oh, man. 243. This is embarrassing.
I'll roll with you think of it. Any other surprises while you think of that? My biggest surprise wasn't with racing. I would say that my biggest surprise was the fact that Feld is now sponsored by CBD MD.
Dude, how weird was that?
You and I...
You go from the first round having
We were complaining about it all last season. I was like, yo, this is BS. What the hell? And it just goes to... I can't bash them too much because... They're doing what they can for sponsorships. It was a little selloutish. Yeah, I agree.
Well, you go from a complete ban at the first round.
You can't even show it on the bike.
Yeah. Having to have censored stickers over everything.
Yeah.
It just...
And then to go and get sponsored by him. So, that was my biggest surprise. And then another thing that wasn't a surprise, but it was more of a what the hell, is the fact that there was a two-stroke racing. And I don't think anybody watching, unless they knew to look for it, knew that a two-stroke was racing.
Yeah, Michael Essie, first rider to qualify on a modern two-stroke at Monster Energy Cup, and
it was a 250 board out to
326 or something
like that.
He rode really well, and the one argument I saw against it, well, I've seen a bunch. Okay, people are upset, rightfully so, that there was no attention drawn towards this. Why does Stank Dog get all this attention when he rides a two-stroke, but there's no love for Mike? And then on the other end of it. Okay, he rode a two-stroke, he qualified. There's a million riders out there that could have ridden a two-stroke on that level and qualified. Well, it doesn't matter. They're not doing it.
They could, but they didn't.
Yeah. But one thing that kind of, nothing against Mike. He's actually a kind of a family friend, I guess you could say. My wife's family, they're really tight with the Alessis. Anyway, that's off topic. But
you're biased. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Well, it's going to be reversed, which is funny. So Mike posted about it, right? And he didn't have any pictures, so he was just sharing all the things that he'd been tagged in. But then his last post was him on the story, and it was I don't want to butcher it, and I don't want to paraphrase it because it's something that you need to kind of say correctly, if that makes sense. let me see if I can find it, and I'll just read it off for you guys because I don't know. I'll let you decide for yourself.
Okay.
As I suspected, a hairline crack in my collarbone that I raced with through the weekend. In a lot of pain, pure badass what I did. That was like, what? Like, you can't call yourself like a badass, dude. Like, other people can call you a badass for racing with a broken collarbone and qualifying on a 2-stroke. But when you just go straight out and call yourself a badass, pure badass what I did.
I think he's trying to dig at people.
3 exclamation points.
Yeah, I don't
know. Like, it's fine. Like, let your results, let your performance speak for itself. There's no reason to go out and say that. And this is just digging up dirt for the sake of conversation currently. But that's the only thing about it where I'm like, come on, Mike. Really?
Come on, Mike.
Really?
Come on, Mike.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Damn.
But anyway, it was cool. I mean, he did it. Congrats to him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he deserved a little bit of attention, at least a mention. But I'm not really like over the top with, oh, sick. Like, yeah, way to go, Mike. That was rad. You know what I mean?
You did it.
You know, you did it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's whatever.
World's best cup of coffee. It's almost that time of year.
It is. Well, it's always time for Elf, dude. Elf is a Christmas movie I'll watch in like
That's our family tradition, man.
middle of
Every year.
summer.
Watch Elf.
When?
Like the first week of December.
Oh, okay.
You and Paige need to come over.
I'm low key surprised you don't have like Christmas decorations up yet.
Bro, don't even jinx me.
Well, it's
pisses
normally
me off.
okay. I'm pretty sure it's going to be right after Halloween because that's normally when it goes down.
They start like right after Halloween.
November 1st, it's decked out.
Like they start some shit like that. Yes.
You go through like 3 Christmas trees.
We don't do real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you did real, you'd be going through like 3
dude,
Christmas
the house would be on
trees.
fire by now. There's so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. But so do cowboy butts, so it's okay. No, nobody got that joke. No, have you
I do know what you're talking about,
Okay,
but I just wanted you to be like left with crickets.
I was like, damn it.
Unfortunately, I don't think we have any crickets. We might have crickets, but I don't want to just start pushing buttons
We
and see what
don't
they
have
do.
crickets. I need to find a way to add crickets to our soundboard.
We need to find a way to like just have more sounds, more things to play with.
Get jiggy with it.
I don't really hit them anyway, so it's fine.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That was my bad. I'm gonna have to cut that one out. Anywho, what do you, racing in general? We got Adam that won it. He was my pick on MX Fantasy. I don't know if he did that. Nope. Okay. So that's a no for Ben.
Nope.
Yeah, I did that. That's about the only pick I got right. We had Eli Tomac in second, who had a crash in the second moto, evened things up going into the final main event. It was a 3-way tie for first, winner take all.
At one point, dude, I was like, Vince Freeze is gonna win this thing. That was literally going through my mind.
There was at no point in my mind
Yeah.
to think that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Out of curiosity, do you know the statistic for this? The race has gone on 10 years. Have there been 10 different winners?
No. Eli's won it twice.
Has he?
Yeah. He won the $100,000 before last year, and then $1 million last year. He was trying to go for that
Before
three-peat.
last year, I thought Marv won.
That's right. He won it before Marv. He's won it once before. I watched it on the broadcast.
Okay.
So I know for sure he's won it twice.
Yeah.
Villapoto's won it like twice, right?
No, I think Villapoto's only won it once. I'm
Well,
gonna look
he won
this
the
up. Dude.
million.
You can keep talking, but
Yeah, I'm gonna keep sounding like a fool. So I think
I sound like a fool with the pants on the ground.
I pitied
Pants
a
on the
fool.
ground. Pants on the ground. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
I have
Remember
never
that
heard
song?
that.
That was like
yes.
it was like a YouTube sensation
Yes.
in like 2012,
You remember the YouTube video?
2010. Is
Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna. No?
No, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Damn, I just sound like a fool.
With your
my
pants on the ground.
But Trey Kennard almost won it once.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome.
Wadded in the corner last
Okay,
photo.
I got the stats.
Stat time.
So 2011. Oh, dude, it just went away. Okay, 2011. Villapoto, Barsha, James Stewart. Oh, I'm just reading them down now.
Okay, in order.
Yeah, let me start from the top.
Okay.
Villapoto, Barsha, Stewart, Millsaps, Roxon, Tomac, Muscan, Tomac, Cianciarillo. Tomac's the only one that's won it double. So 10 years, 9 different winners. That is rad. That's
only 9 winners.
Oh, you're right. 9 years.
9 years.
Not 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
Eight winners in 9
That's
years.
a bummer.
You almost had it.
I know, but I've been saying 10. I've
forever.
been saying 10 years pretty consistently now.
Guys, it is officially 9 years. I can count.
Yeah, 9 years with 8 different winners, which is badass.
Yeah.
Like as far as races go, like that's super cool. That like it's really inconsistent like that, and
It's
those
good.
are all pretty good names too.
You have nobody that's like walk away win.
Yeah, you go in, it's anybody's game.
Right. Anybody could screw up and wad in the corner.
Yeah,
Tomac.
yeah,
Sorry. But it was good racing.
it was.
Like
It was
I said,
exciting. It was erratic. I enjoyed it.
The top 3 was Adam Cincerillo, Eli Tomac, and
Stewart.
Malcolm Mookie Stewart.
Stewart.
He's the Stewart. Okay, little.
Stewart. I've seen Little.
I'm sure you have been.
Yeah,
Anywho, yeah, but it was good racing, man. I'm pumped on it.
fantastic.
Fantastical. Right?
So let's get dynamic with it.
Dynamic.
And the clapping always goes on way too long.
Yeah, that was way too long.
We say that every time, and we've yet to change it. So, whatever.
Okay, what's on the list?
Let's talk Hare and Hound, dude. We already talked about the wrap up.
Yeah.
Finished it off. We know who our champ is. It came down to the last round, which is sick. I'm stoked on that.
I love it when it's not a walkaway. You got to be on pins and needles to find out
Yeah,
who wins.
for sure, dude.
I was checking their Instagram all day during the final round.
Sometimes their Instagram does like a really good job, and other times it's like, oh man, like
One out of 10 rounds is a really good job.
no, it's
the
more.
ones that are in the middle of nowhere.
And it's just the social media. It's not even that. Like they'll get the first place and then they get distracted because like riders keep coming in and then they're off doing their thing. Like consistent like top
That
10s.
is true.
And then good podium coverage. And I like that they did the live stream on the podium because it was cool. You got to actually like see the
I didn't
riders
get to
up there,
see
see them
that.
talking, and yeah, it was rad. But Checkers MC put on the final round of the Hare and Hounds, and one thing about Checkers is that it's known that it's always going to be a gnarly race. It's going to be rocky. There's going to be a lot of single track, a lot of virgin terrain, just rowdy,
I like virgin
rocky,
terrain.
gnarly. Okay, Austin.
No, you took that wrong. No, literally, like it's nobody's been on it, and they're like, you're finding a way when there's no path for you.
It's fresh.
Yes,
Yeah,
nobody's been there.
that's what virgin means.
Yeah, okay. Anywho,
So we know Jake got the win, and for him, he was sitting second place coming through on lap 1, ended up working his way up to first, opened up quite a good lead coming into the finish. Like he said earlier on the show, he had a moment by himself before he actually got to the finish where it all came together and he realized, I'm going to win this thing, and that's rad within itself. And Joe Austin did everything he could. He put in a valiant ride to finish up second place. And, he was racing his heart out trying to get that championship.
yeah, 100%, and rightfully so. I mean, you're not going to get that close and be like, well, I'm just going to putt to a second. No, hell no, that fool was trying.
Yeah.
So nothing to take away from that dude. Awesome to see how it goes down and see him finish 1 too.
Yeah. For
not
sure.
just in the points, but like at the final race too.
And you can definitely count on the beta rider to try to make another charge again next year to win the championship.
Next year, I see our third place finisher for the day, not the championship. I see him making a push, just like Jake said.
Yeah, Dalton has been one of those riders where you can expect him to do well at any given moment. Multiple
Right.
styles of racing. We've seen him win the AMA National Grand Prix Championship Series. We've seen him get close at Works. We've seen him up front contesting in Western Hare Scrambles and Hare and Hounds as well. So I really think that it's just a matter of time before Dalton's name is topping all these charts. With
Yeah.
that being said, competition is fierce, but I definitely look for Dalton to be a considerable contender in 2020.
He's been good. He's just had bad luck.
And Mr. Fourth Place, Chance Fullerton, has been consistently off the podium, sitting right
Yes.
there in fourth.
If I'm not mistaken, first year for 450.
First year Open Pro on
Open
that
Pro.
factory beta ride. He's the 250 Pro rider from last year.
Right.
And he's really gotten comfortable on that open bike. I really think that Chance has some more up his sleeve as well. And he's young, dude. He's young. He's hungry. And as Joe Austin's teammate, that's a force to be reckoned with.
That it's got to be good knowing that for beta. I mean, knowing that you got 2 great contenders heading into next year, both who should have tremendous confidence in how their seasons went.
For sure.
So it's just confidence builder. And even if they didn't win this season, I mean, going into next season, they know that they got what it takes to at least hang. And we'll see them. And Chance's GoPro, by the way, with
Burson, that was some great racing.
Oh, my goodness. Awesome.
Yeah.
So that was good. I'm happy to see. I'm stoked to see what happens next year.
Yeah, I think Chance is going to consistently find himself up there and hopefully land up on the podium sooner than later. And rounding out the top 5 at the end of a season, which wasn't the way he wanted it to go at all, I can tell you, Mr. Ryan Smith. Now, Ryan is one of the riders that we stated last year would be one of the riders to watch coming into the 2019 season. And I think my take on that isn't going to change. In 2020, watch for Ryan Smith. You know, Jacob Argubright was pretty open about the fact that he and Ryan have been training heavily together and helping each other out. It's good to have someone that you can be competitive with on the road bike, on the training aspect, and be competitive with on the riding, dirt bike aspect of it as well. So I'm sure those two are going to elevate themselves to another level simply by being consistently training and riding together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And I really want to road bike with those dudes.
Yeah.
Once I can get back on the bike.
That'd be rad if we could get something together.
Or even mountain bike. I don't think I mentioned it, but I'm in the running right now for a scholarship to buy me a adaptive hand cycle mountain bike.
Yeah.
Full suspension, dirt tires. That's all I need, bro.
You and I have been talking about it.
Yeah.
It got me super stoked.
So I'm hoping I win it because they're like $8,000.
Yeah. That's how much a normal mountain bike is, by the way.
Well, I can go buy a used like not S-Works, but like a
Stump jumper?
some stuff like that.
Yeah. So we could go on a tangent because I just bought a new mountain bike last week, but
Well, I thought it was for your birthday.
it was.
Okay.
It was.
So you
But
bought it or Paige bought it?
when you're married, things work out that it's
okay.
just a,
Okay. I just mean like,
a
did she,
collection
like,
of money.
I mean, did she like surprise you? Is what I mean.
So 6th place,
Okay. Anywho.
first Pro 250, rider that I expected to wrap up the championship. Just some heartbreak, a couple rounds to go. Zane Roberts was just had the dark cloud over him. But you know what? This is the 3rd beta rider I've mentioned so far inside the top 6, and that's just a huge testament to the betas and their off-road support for this year. It's impressive.
Those things are masters, dude.
Oh my
Sorry.
God.
I got dad jokes.
I looked at you in disbelief right there. I was like,
you
really,
really
dog?
just say that?
Really? So, yeah, the Masters got 3 in the top 6.
Yes.
So, that's pretty rad.
I like the way they
Another
look.
thing, real quick, before I said Zane Roberts, the top 5, 4 of those riders are District 37 riders. Just wanted to stamp that as well. Now, it was a Southern California desert race, so I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
But it's still impressive to see on a national level that District 37 represents.
Nice.
Yep.
What else you got for me?
7th place, another District 37 rider, Nick Burson, number 2. And Nick finished out on the podium as well for the championship points.
That's right. He just
With a 3rd place.
And I saw that his race did not go according to plan. He was running 3rd for a while.
Yep.
His right, was it right? One of his pegs fell off like halfway through.
So he actually came into the pits in 5th, but he was riding the last the last part of the race, one-footed on his bad leg, he said. So one leg was injured and was sore, and that was the leg he ended up riding in on. If I remember correctly, it was his right leg, and his left peg came off. I could be incorrect.
Okay, something
but
like that.
imagine like trying to shift and not having a base for your foot, and you're just trying to like
You have to like
stomp
dungy
up
shift.
and down. You don't have to shift with your hand, but
That's dangerous.
you just have to shift like by lifting up with your knee. And anyway, Nick Burson in 7th, and Corbin McPherson making his Pro 250 debut after wrapping up the 250A championship around early.
Yeah.
Inside the top 10 with an 8th place.
Corbin, friend of the show, came on. If you haven't listened to that podcast, you really should. You will learn a thing or two about Mr. McPherson. Awesome dude, awesome kid, awesome rider.
There's a ton of things I want to tell you about Corbin McPherson now, but just go ahead and listen to the podcast because
Yes.
it'll be great.
It's back a few episodes, so go back.
Yep. 9th place, Pro 250, Damon Woolslayer rounding out the podium in the Pro 250 class, and if I remember correctly, coming home with a championship.
Nice. My memory isn't that good, so I have no idea.
10th overall, Nick Klungely, another Lucerne Valley District 37 rider.
Yeah.
Just ahead of your first A200 in 11th place, Mr. Clayton Roberts.
That's
which
rad.
matches my best overall in the A200, and I think he's the first rider to get that high up on a 125 200 since I did. Which
Really?
is, yeah, if I'm incorrect, correct me, but I'm pretty sure that is factual.
That's rad.
That is really rad, especially after all the controversy we saw from him a few races ago.
Yeah.
To see that fight back and ahead of a pretty serious list of riders. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out for 11th, and congrats on that one, Clayton. It's badass.
Awesome, dude. What about the women? Go to our first women finisher because I want to point something out real quick.
Yes, sir.
While he's
Just
doing
take a guess if you'd like.
Yeah, well, I already know. I put it in the notes.
Why wouldn't I look at the notes? Why am I looking at Moto Tally? What the heck?
No idea. No, while you get that up, the girl that finished first,
Yes.
finished one spot behind Chris Kiefer, who went out there to race,
Yep.
and she beat the next girl by 40 minutes.
Brandy Richards.
Yeah.
That's so gnarly.
Yeah.
So gnarly.
So that was rad.
Did she crack into the top 20 then if she finished right behind Kiefer?
I think she's like 18th,
No way.
right?
Oh my gosh, that is badass. Yep, she got 18.
Is it? Yeah.
That is so gnarly. You people don't even realize how gnarly that is.
Yeah, dude. She beat like Brandon Krause. She beat who's the other one?
I don't know, dude. Now I pulled up the notes because you told me to look at the notes.
Yeah, there's like 3 people in the top 20 that probably maybe had issues. I don't know. I haven't talked to them, but that she whooped them. So that's cool.
Yeah, that is super
Like
cool.
I don't mean to throw shade, but like a girl beat you, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she's gnarly.
yeah, good. But it was a good series. As we get to the end of all the series this year, I just want to come out and say it has been quite the journey for Ben and I covering series that I personally beforehand never even like considered looking into.
Yeah.
We've been trying to stay on top of it for you guys. At the beginning of the year, we started out with GNCC and stuff. Obviously, the workload is a little much. We didn't quite cover as much as the back half of the year. But in general, like we have loved covering these series, talking about each rider, talking to you guys, talking about the people listening who we've had on the show. It's been fun. So I'm pumped. I mean, we do this every week, but this is our official like championship wrap-up video. And I just want to point that out and say thank you guys.
It has been a lot of fun. We're both passionate about racing, extremely passionate about off-road. And one of the biggest things for me about this podcast is I wanted to give a voice to the West Coast off-road scene because I think that's something that it's been lacking, at least in this avenue. I really, really enjoy the interviews, dude. Like, it's cool to talk about the results and to talk about who's doing well and to see the names frequent the top of the list, but to actually hear firsthand race reports and just dive deeper into it and get to learn things about people that you wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Like, how many people knew that Jake Argubright did graphic design? Well, probably a lot of you if you follow Off-Road Support because he's been pretty open about it. But that's the type of thing I like to hear, just different stories, different things. Example, Mark Samuels used to be a fry cook cleaner. Yeah, he'd clean fry cooks. So that's just something rad. And that actually brings me to my next topic of riders and racing and things to come. I'm sure a lot of you by now have seen that Mark Samuels had a pretty gnarly crash at Glen Helen about a month ago. Ended up breaking both femurs, right?
Yeah, both femurs and his humerus? Or
that's not funny.
Look at the dad joke joiner.
Yep, I tried.
Yeah, one of his bones in his arm.
Anyway, so he is out for a while, which brings some questions when we're talking Slam Life Racing. One thing I've been seeing a lot of is David Camo is on an SLR bike racing quite a bit up north a little bit in Idaho, and he looks pretty dang comfy on that. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm pretty sure that Davey is going to be on that bike for the 1,000. As far as I know, Justin Jones is still recovering from his knee surgeries. We're in contact with him pretty frequently. I know he's not back on the bike yet. So what are you seeing for the Baja 1000? It looks like you might have Camo, Morgan. You're going to need a couple more riders on that. Do they bring some people over from? Yeah, do you bring Ricky D over from Works Racing to be on that?
Well, because he raced the 400 with him.
He did, and he's been training with Samuels. He's been staying there. Do you think that's put on him? That something that he could do? Do you think they go scouting for other people?
No, I think they
if you're Mark, what do you do in this moment?
Put him in, coach. I think they do.
It's a 3-man team.
Yeah. Like, who isn't committed to a team that would?
If they throw Talon LaFontaine on there too, do they get the riders that are already on there? I don't know, dude. It's
tricky.
It is tricky.
I would love. We should hit up Justin later and find that out.
Yeah, I wanted to have him on and kind of put him on blast, not give him a heads up or anything, and just throw this at him and see what we get. But
yeah, I don't know. But I do think. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
I do think that this opens the door for them to not win. I don't want to say not win, but
odds are stacked against them.
Look at how close it was at the 400.
Yeah, closest race so far.
With 6 seconds or something. Ricky Dietrich did have a crash, which that's racing. That's what we talked about earlier. It's racing. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
When you put riders on that don't have the experience that Samuels does or that Justin does, it opens the door for anything to happen. Okay. And straight up, it sucks to see somebody get hurt, but I'm excited to see the racing that comes out of this.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't want to be. That's not rude, right?
Well, it opens up an opportunity, and like you kind of said, anything can happen, right. And the odds are against them. So it's going to be interesting to see if the other team can take full advantage of that and to possibly get their first win. And it would be cool to see Monkey Business get on top, simply because we talked to Anthony DiBasilio quite a bit, and we're pretty, I don't want to say involved, but updated with how that team's going and, everything up to that point. Sorry, I'm getting super distracted right now. I got people texting me, and it's getting...
My phone, I apologize. My phone is on vibrate, but I don't know if you heard the clicker go off. I just double-checked, and it, going off, so our audio might be getting dings and dongs in there.
Apologize for that.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes the Baja 1000 a little more exciting. After the 400, I was already riled up about it, and thinking that it could potentially go one of two ways, and now it's swaying a little bit more in a different direction. Yeah. So we'll see. For all we know, Slam Life Racing has some bangers, and they're going to come out there and just crush it, or it could go the complete opposite direction. Do you remember the
point spread on that? Maybe not. Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't know how close it is to actually coming down to winning the race or not. I don't know how that is, but just to even win, championship or not, to win the 1000 is dope.
Yeah.
So I don't think it really.
Yeah, for sure.
It
and
matters.
especially,
trust me, it matters, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
To me.
It's the most important of them all. It's kind of it stands alone.
Right.
But either way, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Big things coming in the future.
For sure.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit earlier, you and I, about the Donner Hare Scramble.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to see anything from that?
I just saw a slight clip of what Taylor Roberts posted.
Did you watch that full Instagram live of that, or whatever it is, an Instagram video, but it's longer than 1 minute? What do they call those?
IGTV?
IGTV.
I did not.
Oh my God, dude, that track looks sick.
I watched the first minute, and quick thing, I just want to point this out to you guys. I had to go to the eye doctor the other day. I've been having really bad vision, and so turns out looking at screens, that obviously we know blue light's bad for you, obviously, but I do so much work on my computer that it's starting to affect my vision. And so I have to get new glasses with special protectors and whatnot. So I haven't been checking Instagram or stuff like that as much. I don't really know what's going on, just because I can't see right now.
Got it. So Donner looks like one of those races that I'd want to go to. Brian Garahan set up the whole course, and it was gnarly. It was just like a super tech course for pretty much all of the race. It's on a mountain. There's rock gardens everywhere. There's huge rock slabs riding over. It just looked gnarly. And straight up, dude, Taylor had a flawless day. He ended up getting the whole shot early, checked out, and if you watched his helmet cam or watched any of the footage, he's just so smooth on the throttle control and just staying off it and just real consistent. There's no chicken wing going on. It's just, I love watching his footage because it's smooth. He looks like he's going slow.
It's
and
like
you know
he's not
going.
trying.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, effortless, literally.
Seriously, it's effortless.
That's the right word. Yeah.
Just comes in smooth, doesn't ever override the bike. Super low RPMs pretty much everywhere. He's only ever on the gas when he needs to be on the gas. And no wasted energy. Not at all. Not a single drop of energy wasted. Everything is very purposeful. Where the bike goes, where his body is, where the throttle's at. Like, it's amazing. And I wonder if at this point it's just like throttle control. Or not that. What am I trying to say? Second nature, like it just happens. Like he just does it. If he even has to think about like what's going on, I really don't know. But it's impressive to watch. I'm stoked that he's representing Team USA and he's team captain for 6 days. And
you seeing a obviously gold medal, but you seeing good things.
Yeah, always. I mean, in my opinion, Taylor's the best off-road rider in the world right now.
Yeah.
2 championships this year, pretty much flawless season. Just awesome stuff. So excited to see basically what the rest of the year has in store for him.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yep.
He did just wrap up his own championship, so good.
Yeah.
He's doing right. Doing
it right.
He's doing right, mate.
Doing it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can tell, we're doing an evening show. As we're wrapping this thing down, I'm getting slightly delirious because I've been up since like 4 a.m.
Yeah, you're working mornings, man.
Working mornings, and I told you guys a few weeks ago that I have no problem going back and forth, and it's super easy, and that I could get 2 hours of sleep one night, 10 hours the next, and it's no problem.
You jinx yourself?
Dude, it's rough. Going from late nights for the last year and a half to now waking up at 4 a.m., like a quick switch, you know? It's fine like one day or like maybe 2 days, but today was the third day, and it was just, beat. Yeah, so I'm like ready for a nap at this point.
Third day grace, bro.
Yeah. So if there's multiple parts during this
grace,
podcast where it doesn't make any sense, you can just...
It's all Ben's fault, not mine.
Just chalk it up to that.
I haven't been texting this entire time, I promise.
Not at all.
No, I had something I'd take care of right now, so that's why you're feeling time.
Likely story.
I swear it.
Yeah.
Our live stream watchers, if there's any still there, can totally tell. But guys, real quick, we are going to start live streaming more often. We're going to give you a heads up. Follow us here on Twitch if you're watching right now. If not, if you're listening, twitch.tv/Dynamic Moto Network. If you have Amazon Prime and you would like to support us, you could subscribe to our channel using Amazon Prime. There's a Twitch Prime sub.
How does that work? Like if I'm on like Prime TV?
So if you're watching our live stream, at the top right of our picture,
Yeah.
right? If you're watching now, it's somewhere right up there. Yeah, over there.
Wrong way, dude.
Yeah, my bad. Over there, there's a button that says subscribe. You click it, and then you could say, I believe, sub now with Twitch Prime. You click on it, it'll take you to Amazon. It says log in with your Amazon credentials, and it'll do that. And it should bring you back to our landing page. Bada bing, bada boom. And you get 1 free subscription a month with Amazon Prime.
So use it on us.
Yes, please do. And like Jake broke the news to you, we're going to be having...
oh, dude, I'm so stoked. You've probably already seen the design by now if you're not watching live, but it is good.
Yes, I'm so stoked. Mainly Ben's idea that came up with it. I just found some online stuff that I wanted and sent it to Jake, and he knocked it out of the freaking park. So we're going to be selling merch. I'm talking about t-shirts, hoodies, 3/4 sleeve shirts, cell phone cases,
socks, fanny packs. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if we're going to sell that stuff, but we have the potential to.
Yeah. Hat. I mean, if you want men's swimming wear or ladies' bikinis or one pieces, or if you're a lady or a dude, there's dudes.
You want a Speedo? We got that.
Yeah. I was gonna make a bad joke on that one. But if you wear leggings, like if your lady loves to wear leggings,
get her some DMN leggings.
DMN leggings. It's gonna have our logo.
In all seriousness, though, like we have a lot of stuff, but the hats are dope.
The hats are the sickest.
There's so many varieties of hats that you could choose from, and they just look rad. So not only are we going to be debuting our new logo, but we're also going to be providing merch with our classic logo and with our 5Cast logo as well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the company we're using, their stickers themselves are outrageous. So if you want a sticker from us, just message us, and we'll have some stickers made up to you from a third party. We'll send them out.
Okay.
So
Sounds good to me.
it's gonna be cool. This logo is dope, so can't wait to share
A
it.
lot of big things coming. We've been talking to you guys about the Kirk Ride Day and the fact that we're going to be on site doing a live show, a live broadcast. But as well, if you've already forgotten, we're going to be having correspondents at 6 days giving us the down low on the race throughout the week. So we're going to have a pre-week show at 6 days, and we're going to have a race week show at 6 days. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be super exciting. And fun fact, it's not only going to be Jeremy Cable, we're going to be also joined by Skylar House.
Woo, baby. Yeah. All these great people that are well versed in this.
I didn't even think you knew about Skylar, honestly.
I didn't. I was just saying, woo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I'm actually wearing a Skylar House shirt right now. Yeah.
And we got his logo right behind us.
Jersey signed. What does it say,
Jersey.
dude? To Austin. Love you long time?
Yeah,
That's really what it says. Love you long time.
Love you long time.
That's rad.
Yeah, Skylar's the homie for both of us. Destry Abbott's right behind you.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're stoked. We're gonna cycle jerseys in and out, like we said. But I think this is the start of something great for us. Today's show, a little bouncy.
Yep.
It's a little stressful because we're live streaming it, so we don't want to like stop. Because I don't think you guys realize how much I cut out when I edit this. Like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make it into the final production. So we're doing this all one live stream. And so there's going to be some issues as we readjust. But
For sure.
I think we did all right. I think
We're doing
did
all
good.
right. I got this
So,
gnarly cough coming on right now, and I don't want to keep coughing on air. So
Yeah, so we'll get
on
out
that
of here.
note,
It was good.
always a good time. And don't forget, stay strange, but don't be a stranger.
Kablow.